100%, 200%. There's no question about it. Lamar Jackson is our quarterback. I mean, he's been our quarterback. Everything we've done in terms of building our offense and building our team, how we think in terms of people and put people around him, is based on this incredible young man and his talent, his ability, and his competitiveness. He and I were talking today too, and one of the things about Lamar that to me stands out, he's an incredible competitor. I mean, Lamar Jackson, all he wants to do is win at everything he does. Yeah, he's got a lot of talent. He's a very bright guy. He's got a big heart, but he's just a massive competitor. And that's the kind of guys we want to build this team around, guys that love football and guys that love to compete. So hasn't changed. It'll never change. I've loved Lamar. Eric loves Lamar. And it's not going to change in the future. So, I don't know anything about the details of the whole thing, but I know one thing. I'm like all the fans out there and everybody else. I'll have my fingers crossed and my toes crossed, and I'll be saying prayers. And I have every faith that it's going to get done. And we've got the best people in the world doing it. I mean, Eric DeCosta is nobody better. And Eric wants him here. I want him here. Steve wants him here. And Lamar wants to be here. So it's going to work out.
Well, it certainly takes two to tango. But I think Lamar and I have a great relationship. I think we communicate quite often. We spent some time together today, as a matter of fact. We've spoken throughout the season multiple times. And, these negotiations, Jameson, they all happen differently.
Are you willing to entertain trade offers about Lamar Jackson?
That's something that we're not going to talk about at this point. I talked to Lamar today, as I said, and our focus right now is really to get a long-term deal done. That's our singular focus at this point. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take great communication, give and take. But I'm confident that we'll be on the right path to get that done.
In 8 months, when you start the season, the 2023 season, is Lamar Jackson, will he be your starting quarterback?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why I won't be, Jameson.
We talked about this before. One of the most effective ways of communicating with the media, say our name. It's a nice little touch. Eric DeCosta's a pro.
Oh, it's so
nice little touch.
It's so disarming. Same fly, by the way. Same fly. Been in here for like 3 days. Anyway, go ahead.
That's okay. I was wondering what was going on. I saw it though. It's aggravating. Listen, let me tell you something.
Yeah, man.
Sidebar. If a fly is in the room, I can't function. Like I have to kill it at all costs. I cannot function. I can't just coexist with a fly. Like I have to stop what I'm doing. So honestly, if you unmic and unhook right now and kill this fly, I wouldn't be mad at you. And I would take like a dish rag and just pop that son of a bitch. Like I just pop.
Just give me an opportunity.
Anyway,
all I need is an opportunity. But you're right.
I'm like Daniel Summer catching flies too. But anyway, it is very disarming. It is very it's effective when it comes to managing us. So having said that, I'll ask you a question this way, Mike. How effective was the organization's messaging yesterday when it comes to this negotiation with Lamar Jackson?
Ooh, I think highly. Messaging. I think messaging, that's what I was thinking. It's so interesting that you would use that word too, because as I was listening to them, I thought, wow, they really sat down together. I'm talking about John Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta. They really sat down and they knew what was coming, and they had a clear message that they wanted to get out, and they agreed on it and they executed it well. Now, messaging is an A+. Execution, who knows? But I'll tell you the most effective, I love DeCosta, homeboy right around here from Taunton, Massachusetts. Good dude, really enjoyed talking to him. But the most effective technique, the rhetorical technique, was from John Harbaugh. I don't know if he did it on purpose. He was going on and on. He was like, yeah, Lamar, hey, we want him here, and Eric wants him here, and Lamar wants to be here. He said emphatically. Underline that. Italics, bold. Lamar wants to be here. Then, so to hear that emphasis, Mike, and then to hear DeCosta say, we talked. He said multiple times, hey, we talked earlier today, and we have a great relationship. If you're a Ravens fan, you sit there and you listen to that, if you just, based on that conversation, on that press conference, you feel like, okay, we're in good hands. Lamar's going to be here. Can they pull it off? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, listen, it's ultimately up to them whether Lamar is there. Now, I know there is precedent. We just saw it with a certain quarterback in Cleveland for deciding, I don't want to be here anymore. Trade me. That quarterback had just signed a contract. Deshaun Watson had just signed a contract and was like, nope, get me up out of Dodge. Sat, and then obviously there was a huge change in the story before his departure from Houston. But originally he sat because he did not want to play in Houston anymore. So could Lamar take a hard stance if he doesn't get the deal he wants and say, you know what, tag me all you want, I'm not coming to play for y'all anymore, I'm offended? He could. But ultimately, the Ravens can decide whether or not they want to slap him with the exclusive franchise tag and nobody can negotiate with him, or the non-exclusive franchise tag and open himself up for a negotiation from another team that if another team signs Lamar, they owe him 2 first-round picks, or more traditionally what happens is the teams get together and negotiate compensation. It rarely defaults to 2 first-rounders. Usually there's some kind of negotiation that takes place. So having said that, we talked about this the other day. Not only do I not think the Ravens are silly enough to let a Lamar Jackson walk out the door and then hope that they can find another Lamar Jackson. I don't think that that's how they got to be one of the preeminent organizations in the sport. Mm-hmm. I think the key word here is relationship. First of all, when it comes to relationships, especially long-term relationships, you're not always going to agree. Okay, that's number one. Number two, if you stay together long enough, you're most definitely not going to always see eye to eye, especially when there's an inflection point in that relationship. And that one right now is a long-term contract where there's a difference of opinion. But what
take
you
your
come
time.
back to,
Take your time.
But what you come back to, though, is the relationship. And there's what's unusual is we're going by Lamar Jackson's Instagram stories or his subtweets or his posts or what he likes on Twitter or whatever, because he doesn't have an agent who, going back to where this conversation started, can manipulate the messaging with the media. Okay?
Right.
So we're left to, deduce from context clues what's the state of these negotiations, what's being reported, what the Ravens decide to leak, this, that, and the third. But ultimately, they're talking. It's not as though Lamar Jackson is leaving them on red. It's not as though Lamar Jackson is declining their calls. They're talking. They're spending time with one another. Yes.
Well, I just want to check. You think it would be crazy for them to just walk away from this asset because you believe Lamar Jackson, just for conversation, is probably a top 10 quarterback, right?
We'll get to that. But we'll get to that.
But you do. But you do, though, right?
Well, but
you're saying all these great things about him. He's got to be, a highly regarded.
Well, you know what? Well, let's you know what? Let's go with that. Saying all these great things about him. He's a great player. He's theirs, is what I'm getting at. He's theirs.
Okay.
Their entire offense, the offensive line, the emphasis on tight ends, the running game, up until this point, the scheme, and I don't think that's going to change, and I'll get to that in a second. The scheme, all of those things have been tailored to Lamar Jackson. He's theirs. They know him. They know his strengths. They know his weaknesses. It's hard to express those weaknesses when there's not an intermediary in the form of an agent. So you can't tell him, hey, Lamar, you haven't been that good in the playoffs. Hey, Lamar, you got some work to do when it comes to being a passer. You can't tell him that to his face because there's a relationship that has to continue to be managed, right? And so then on the flip side, if you're Lamar Jackson, the conversation was always about, well, the style of play, he may get hurt. Well, he got hurt, and guess what? They cratered without him. They couldn't score. They couldn't manage an offense without him. So for both parties, what I'm getting at, let me land this plane as quickly as I can so we can bring Rita back. For both parties, the grass ain't always greener on the other side. And we just showed the post that he posted a couple of days ago with the cryptic messaging. He's posted a lot of stuff since then in a Ravens uniform. So let's not read too much into that either way. Ultimately, though, The grass ain't green on the other side for either one of them. The Ravens trying to find another one. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Lamar looking at another situation and seeing, okay, maybe they give you a guaranteed contract the Ravens won't. And that's important, don't get me wrong. But will another team have the infrastructure as an organization to
Good point.
Supplement,
Great
complement,
question.
highlight, support your very unique skill set? Have they done that? Will they do that to the level of effectiveness that the Ravens have to this point? Or, I'll just say it plainly, do they have their shit together? Like, I'm not, like, it's one of the best organizations in the league for a reason. So it's like you can go somewhere else and then subject yourself to a level of dysfunction that you don't deal with in Baltimore. So I think both parties, finances aside, are incentivized to continue this relationship.
But I would say Lamar, and very, very quickly, I'll say this because I want to hear Reed on this too. I'd say Lamar is more incentivized to do it than the Ravens because the Ravens know something that Lamar doesn't. The Ravens know that they're one of the best franchises in football. Lamar doesn't necessarily know that. I mean, he doesn't know that definitively. Maybe he knows it anecdotally, talking to some friends of his on other teams, or people who have come to the Ravens from other teams. Hey, man, this is not normal. Like the way it happens here doesn't happen that way in, Arizona, if I could pick on a franchise. Doesn't happen this way in Cleveland, to pick on another one. So the Ravens know who they are, and the Ravens know if they were to move on from Lamar, that it would be a haul coming back, Mike, as you outlined beautifully. If they have to move on from him, they're going to get a pretty substantial package coming back to Baltimore. And who's to say they won't be another Seattle, where Seattle got a lot for Russell Wilson, and that guy, Geno, played like, not is, but played like a top 10 quarterback in football last year. So I think the pressure, believe it or not, I think there's more pressure on Lamar than there is on the Ravens.
I don't know about that. I know
you don't.
I trust the Ravens as talent evaluators. I think it's mutual. And if I had to pick one, I'd say there's more pressure on the Ravens to get it done because Lamar Jackson, first of all, Lamar is one of one. Franchise quarterbacks are rare. Either you got one or you're looking for one. And so Lamar, don't get me wrong, he's going to be good wherever he goes. But will he be as good or will he be surrounded by the same level of stability?
I'm just writing this down.
As he is in Baltimore.
I'm just writing it down.
But Baltimore, on the other hand, like, you were fortunate to get him at 32 because the Wizard of Oz, lets the draft come to him.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.